In this video, we're going to explain the Pro and My OSF hierarchy. So when you look at your Pro and My OSF files, you can load one rules Pro OSF and a display and a miscellaneous file. You can also load, if you have the availability of My OSFs, which is only available in the Ultimate version, you can load one rules, one display, and one miscellaneous file. That gives you a total capability of loading 6 different OSF files. Now, you can mix the levels of OSFs, and we're going to talk about those levels more in a minute, but you can have a rules file that is symbol specific, a display file that, for example, is interval specific, and a miscellaneous file that could be cover all intervals and symbols. The functional settings that are not set to default in your tools will override any OSF settings that flows from a Pro or My OSF, and we're going to take you through that in a little more detail. Note, if you are mixing different levels of OSFs, it's a more complex application. It is highly recommended that you always create a dump file to verify that the tools are set correctly as you intend. We're going to review the Pro OSFs first, and they're available in all editions of the tools. The Pro OSF Level 0 is one where the settings in the rules, display, or the miscellaneous files apply to all symbols and all intervals. And so the file structure will be Pro underscore, and the X's represent whether it would be rules, display, or miscellaneous underscore defaults. So in this scenario, interval and symbol, regardless of what they are, those settings will be applied to your tools. For level 1, the settings and rules, display, and miscellaneous apply to all symbols with the specified interval. So anything that has that interval is going to get those settings applied. And the file structure, so that you will know that it is a level 1, is Pro, then the type of file, underscore, and then the next part will be the interval, and it will say the actual specific intervals, in this case 5 minute, and then underscore interval. Level 2 is applying just to the symbol, regardless of the interval. So in this case, any symbol that matches the symbol chosen for that rules or display or miscellaneous file will receive these settings. The file structure for that is Pro underscore, the type of file underscore, and then the name of the symbol, in this case SPY. Level 3 is one that is very specific. It applies to a specific symbol and a specific interval. So in the file name there, you will see here that it has the symbol and the interval specified, and so that will only apply to the settings for that specific symbol and interval. So let's talk about user overrides for a second. If you're using a Pro OSF and you have loaded it, regardless of what you've loaded, if you have a word other than default listed in your chart tool settings, and if that was a setting that was being changed by your OSF, whatever you have put in here will override that Pro OSF setting. Now let's talk about the My OSF files. This is available in the Ultimate Edition only. The My OSF Level 0 is similar to the 0 level in the Pro. It applies to all symbols and intervals, and the file structure will be My underscore, the file type underscore defaults. Note, if a Pro OSF file was loaded, the My OSF values will override values if you have one for the same setting. Level 1 is applies to all symbols with a specified interval. In this case, this example, it's a 15-minute interval. And again, the reminder about the My OSF settings overriding Pro OSF values. Level 2 is going to be just the symbol and all intervals. And so it'll again start with My instead of Pro, the file type, and then whatever that specific symbol is. Level 3 is the one that covers a specific symbol and interval, and you will see a format like this with the symbol and interval listed. User overrides. Again, it's the same scenario if you're loading a My OSF. Any setting which does not have the word default will override anything sent from the Pro or the My OSF files. Another feature that uses the OSF file structure is the cross-chart sharing. So in the hierarchy for the cross-chart sharing is treated the same as the Pro OSFs. A sender chart can load a Pro OSF and also send settings, but the receiving chart cannot load a Pro OSF because that same infrastructure is what the sender sends the settings to. So that's an overview of all the OSF levels and their hierarchy and how they work together.